Everyone around you is counting down to summer. Beach trips, barbecues, late nights outside, sunshine everywhere. And you're just quietly hoping it ends soon. Not because anything is wrong with you, not because you're pessimistic or difficult, but because the moment the temperature drops, the moment you see grey clouds rolling in and feel that first cool bite in the air, something in you just exhales. Like you've been holding your breath all summer and you finally get to let it go. If that sounds like you, stay with me, because there's actually a fascinating reason why your mind and body come alive in the cold, and it says something really beautiful about who you are. You probably notice it the moment the seasons start to shift. It's not even fully cold yet, maybe just that first week in October or November, where the mornings have an edge to them, and something just clicks inside you. You start sleeping better, your thoughts feel a little quieter, you want to make tea or coffee and just sit with it, not scroll, not rush, just sit. There's something about the grey sky outside a window that feels like permission. Permission to slow down, permission to be still. When summer is in full swing, you might find yourself feeling quietly exhausted in ways that are hard to explain to people. The heat makes everything feel urgent and loud. Everyone wants to be outside, be social, be somewhere. And you participate, you do, but there's always a part of you that feels slightly out of sync with all that energy. Like you're performing enthusiasm you don't fully feel. But in winter, you don't have to perform anything. The world slows down and you finally match it. You might love the specific textures of this season in ways other people don't quite understand. The weight of a heavy blanket, the sound of rain or wind outside when you're warm inside, the way a room feels different when it's cold outside and lit softly inside. These aren't small things to you. They're genuinely comforting in a deep, almost physical way. And if someone has ever looked at you like you're strange for preferring this, for turning down beach invitations, or genuinely not understanding the appeal of a hot, crowded summer day, you've probably just smiled and said, "I don't know, I just like winter." But the truth is, there's a lot more going on beneath that. So what is actually happening in your mind when winter arrives and everything in you settles? The first thing psychologists point to is something called sensory processing sensitivity. Some people's nervous systems are genuinely more responsive to external stimulation than others. Heat, brightness, noise, crowds, these things register more intensely for highly sensitive people. Summer, with its long days, intense light, and social expectations, can actually create a kind of low-level overstimulation that's hard to name but impossible to ignore. Winter removes a lot of that. The light softens, the pace slows, the social calendar quiets down, and for someone whose nervous system is working overtime most of the year, that reduction in stimulation isn't depressing, it's genuinely relieving. Your brain gets to breathe. Psychologists have a name for this. It's called being a high sensory processor, and research suggests that around 15 to 20% of people have nervous systems wired this way. It's not a disorder, it's not anxiety, although it can sometimes be mistaken for it. It's simply the way your brain takes in the world, deeper, more thoroughly, more completely than average. There's also something interesting happening with your relationship to introspection. Winter is the one season that culturally gives everyone permission to turn inward. And for people who are naturally introspective, who do their best thinking quietly, alone, without pressure, that cultural permission is enormously freeing. You're not going against the grain in winter. The season is finally on your side. Research in environmental psychology also shows that people who prefer lower stimulation environments, cooler temperatures, softer light, quieter spaces, tend to score higher in traits like openness to experience, depth of thinking, and creativity. Your brain isn't just resting in winter, it's often doing its best work. And then there's something called behavioral activation. In summer, there's an unspoken social pressure to be doing things, to be visible, productive in an outward way, present at gatherings. For people who are more internally motivated, that external pressure can create a quiet friction that builds up over months. Winter lifts that pressure. You can read, think, create, and simply be without explaining yourself. And that freedom is deeply psychologically nourishing. Here's what I want you to hear, because this part matters. The way you respond to winter, that exhale, that settling, that quiet aliveness, is not a personality quirk or a strange preference. It's a window into something real about who you are at your core. People who prefer winter tend to be deeply inner directed. That means your sense of comfort, meaning, and energy comes from inside rather than outside. You don't need a packed schedule or a loud environment to feel fully alive. You need space. You need quiet. You need a world that moves slowly enough for you to actually think inside it. This is also connected to something psychologists call a rich inner world. People who gravitate towards solitude, stillness, and introspective seasons tend to have incredibly active inner lives, detailed thoughts, strong imaginations, a capacity for deep feeling that other people might not even be aware of. You notice things others miss. You think about things others move past. You feel things at a depth that isn't always visible from the outside. Winter suits you because winter is honest. It doesn't ask you to perform. It doesn't demand that you look happy or social or energized. It just exists, quietly and beautifully, and it gives you room to exist the same way. There's also something worth naming about the comfort you find in winter's aesthetics: the gray skies, the bare trees, the early darkness. Psychologists link this kind of aesthetic preference to what they call tolerance for ambiguity. People who can find beauty in things that others find bleak or unpleasant tend to have higher emotional complexity, the ability to hold more than one feeling at once, to find meaning in quiet or empty spaces, to be comfortable with depth rather than needing brightness to feel okay. You are someone who finds light in low light. That's not a small thing. So the next time someone asks you why you love winter, why you light up when the temperature drops while everyone else is mourning the end of summer, you don't have to fumble for an answer or laugh it off like it's just a weird preference. You can know, quietly inside yourself, that what's actually happening is this: your nervous system is finally getting what it needs. Your inner world finally has enough room to breathe. The season and the person have finally matched. You were never out of step with the world. The world was just moving at the wrong speed for you most of the year. Winter people tend to be some of the most thoughtful, most deeply feeling, most quietly perceptive people there are. And the cold, the grey, the stillness, that's not your darkness. That's your home. So let other people have their summers. Let them have their barbecues and their beach days and their long, hot evenings. You have this: the quiet, the cool air, the feeling of the whole world finally slowing down to meet you. And that is enough. More than enough. That is everything.